No, this is just my workout. 2-pounders, y'all.
Okay.
I'll put him away for a minute.
Kevin Pereira. I had like six Baby Bird jokes lined up. And I'm just like, it's way too early on a Thursday. I'm not going to. Today's
want
show's
any
for
Baby
IT. It's a
Bird.
special show. Information technology. Look it up.
Are you still talking about that?
What? No, let's move on.
I'm Candace Bailey. Thanks, guys. We're coming to you live from the G4 studios in Los Angeles. On the show today, actor Simon Pegg, star of Shaun of the Dead and Paul, will be here to talk about his new book, Nerd Do Well. Don't steal my weight. Then in Brightest Day, in Darkest Night, Chris Gore does Green Lantern right. He'll sit down with Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, and Mark Strong to find out why it's not easy being green.
And viewer requested Android Week continues when Chris Hardwick rates Samsung's Droid Charge. Will this 4G smartphone turn you on or make you all frowny faced?
You can't steal them and not use them. You're gonna steal them, you have to use them.
Is that how it works? All right. Plus, Sarah Underwood boards the USS New York. Into a massive warship built using scrap metal from the 9/11 towers. Just to let the troops and some military choppers.
Time now to put our paws all over the web.
We're going around the net.
Woo! Look at this. Look at my costume.
That's something.
It is
You got
something.
it.
I'm so talented.
You got it. You were on fire today.
In at number 5 today, your graduation is a time to celebrate your academic achievements with dignity.
Or you could do this.
Rachel Michelle Hutchinson.
Don't help that woman up. You're only encouraging it.
I love that. Thank you, graduate, for reminding us of the dangers of the jig.
Listen, kids, getting your jig on, it might seem like harmless fun, but jigs can kill. It's a message from your good Uncle Kevin.
Do you really think you're being a good role model for children?
No, I'm like more of a cautionary tale, I think. Is that fair to say?
Agreed.
Yeah.
What do you think of when you think of Thailand?
Ah, ladyboys.
Okay, what else?
Ladyboys and peanut sauce?
Try again.
The King and I? What do you got?
Wrong!
Just say it if you got
You
something
should
to say.
think about the nation's mesmerizing dance video for an infectious tune by Danish Eurodance artist Tiggy. Duh.
Not yay.
Yeah,
Not yet. I've gone 20 straight minutes without thinking about ladyboys, and then you play that video.
Sorry.
In sport news, last night the Bostonian Bears beat the Vancouver Canuckers to win Stanley's Cup. So yay!
Close
Go
enough.
Stanley!
But in a decidedly un-Canadian fashion, the Canuck fans decided to express their disappointment American style.
Now, the city of Vancouver has already updated their tourism video for this occasion.
It's big.
Beautiful.
Laid back.
Sophisticated. It doesn't get more West Coast than this. Some call it British Columbia, Canada.
But we call it home. British Columbia 2010. You gotta be here.
To create your perfect British Columbia vacation, visit hellobc.com.
And everyone who was injured in the riots lined up this morning to receive their free health care, so... Oh, what? Oh, yeah. I think we're in a position to throw stones, but all right. And now, our favorite moment from last night's riots. We have prided ourselves for a long while here on this program on being the sort of Zagat's of nut shots.
Yes.
Right? Highlighting the finest, the most painful, the funniest genital strikes since the dawn of YouTube.
And last night, during Canada's big fiery crybaby parade, a flashbang was fired into a man's testicles.
Bon appetit.
Look at this guy. Here it comes. Oh, right into the balls. And then explosion.
How about once more with some feeling? There you go.
That's gonna hurt.
It's actually called the Chinese New Year. That's the trick.
That is.
If you wrap your genitals in fireworks and light them, yeah, it's called the Chinese New Year.
Is that real?
Look it up.
Is it real, or are you making that up?
I just said it, so now it's real. Like, that's how the internet works. Urban Dictionary updates like that. The silver lining to losing the Stanley Cup is the bloody lining in that man's underwear. So, congrats.
Oh. Still ahead, something delicious for your mouth.
All right, a tasty number one is up next.
Put that back on.
It's warm.
Put that back on.
Warm in the studio.
This portion of Attack of the Show is brought to you by Butterfinger Snackers. Nobody's gonna lay a finger on my Butterfinger Snackers. Today's ATN featured a co-ed who leads with her head. So class, tell us, what was her major? Tweet us your responses at AOTS, #OMGROFLOL. If your response makes the grade, we'll feature it on tomorrow's show.
And at number one today, a delicious ode to breakfast that has folks in the G4 offices singing along.
Yes, we dare you to resist the smooth grooves of the band Unsmooth.
I rubbed off on you.
You did. Oh, please don't.
Sorry.
Please don't.
Now you get to go like this?
Dare to resist. The smooth grooves of the band Toasters and Moose performing their signature hit, Taste the Biscuit.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce. Don't get that honey sauce on me. I don't like the way it tastes with my chicken wings. Get none of that honey sauce on me. I don't like the way it tastes on my chicken wings. Take us out, Moose.
Taste the biscuit.
I can say without a doubt, that is the best 60 and over two-piece lounge group I've ever seen in a consignment store. Hands down.
How many of those have you seen?
4. The other 3 totally sucked. So, I'm telling you.
Okay. And now it's time for something truly haunting.
That's right. Candace. In a wig.
This program is made possible by a grant from the G4 Corporation. Oh, God, I can see forever!
Hello, I'm Candace Bailey, and today's Lovecraftian horror is the evil magician known as Nyarlathotep.
Gesundheit.
Say it with me, everyone. Nyarlathotep.
Nylon forceps.
Close enough. The ominous figure known as Nyarlathotep was first introduced in a 1920s poem written by Lovecraft. Also known as the Crawling Chaos, Nyarlathotep was sometimes referred to as a messenger of the outer gods who walked the earth recruiting followers and driving them to madness.
If I had to say nylon fart trap all day, I'd go mad too.
His name isn't Nylon Fart Trap.
Yeah, but that sounds better, doesn't it?
Get out! Oh, yeah, fart joke. Great, thank you. Yes, we get it. Okay. This weekend, the biggest movie is also the greenest movie.
Here's Chris Gore with Ryan Reynolds and the cast of The Green Lantern.
Chris Gore here on the planet Oa, about to find out how this power ring works. I'm talking to the cast of Green Lantern. Ryan Reynolds steps up as the Green Lantern, a test pilot turned intergalactic cop who's tasked with saving the Earth from evil in some of the tightest space underoos ever imagined. Now, costume is a huge part of any superhero.
Yeah.
It's incredibly revealing. Can you tell me what went into the costume?
Well, the costume in the Green Lantern mythology is made of energy. His suit is literally made of willpower, his own manifestation of that. So that's not something you can physically put on. I mean, if we put something on like that and it was latex, well, it would look like latex and it wouldn't look like energy. So the fix for that was to do a motion capture suit and then apply the suit with computer graphics afterwards, which was kind of remarkable to see.
Feel that? Just the gravitational pull of your average sun.
What makes Green Lantern different than other DC comic heroes like Batman and Superman?
What do you think?
Well, I like to hear what a hot girl says about that. I think it's way hotter if you say it.
The Green Lantern, I think, is special because he's not somebody with a chip on his shoulder who's worked his whole life to become a superhero so that he can, get vengeance. Or, he's not somebody that was born into this superhuman power. He's just a regular dude, and he's given these incredible powers, but, he's not sure he wants the responsibility.
This is exactly why I didn't want you for this. My father did. I would have called Jensen.
This idea that belief can make something happen, if you believe it enough that you can will it to be true, I think that that's a kind of a superpower that is more uncommon.
We want you to do the initial assessment of his physiology.
My God.
Why me? The makeup that you wear as Sinestro is amazing. A really big part of the character. What was it like to put that makeup on?
It was an incredible experience because we had to find it. I mean, even though the look he has is pretty much what's in the comics, we had to go through a series of drawings and incarnations that were very different until we came back to sticking to the source material. And to see the picture of it and then to sort of have it put on you and compare yourself then to the comics, I found pretty amazing.
Powerful enough to defeat even Abin Sur, our finest warrior, whose light can never be replaced.
The Green Lantern character is all about confronting fears. What were some of the fears that you had to deal with when you were making the film?
I had a lot of fears that were alleviated just by the caliber of the people that Green Lantern production hired to do the film. So my fears were kind of assuaged early. It's tough when you do an origin story because there's so much exposition that you have to tell so early on. And what's exciting is just there's the opportunity to go into a second one, hopefully, have that war with Hal and Sinestro that we're kind of waiting for.
Some Green Lanterns with the power ring are going to save the world. I'm going to protect my comic book collection.
Can't tell your green arrows from your Green Lanterns? Then you should definitely watch Green Lantern, an exclusive look. Get a behind-the-scenes glimpse at the creative vision of the new movie right after Attack. And now, over to Kevin.
Thank you, Candace. Hey, look, Dr. Hardwick's here. Hey! And I think it's for a viewer-requested Android Phone Week gadget prawn.
My favorite!
Yeah.
Do you want the slimmest phone on Verizon's 4G network? Well, Samsung is betting that you do with the Droid Charge. Its 4.3-inch Super AMOLED touchscreen and Android OS will help you navigate mountains of multimedia as well as thousands of apps, while its 4G connectivity will blaze through downloads. There's also a front and rear-facing camera, all squeezed into a phone under half an inch thick for $180 with a contract.
Hey guys, well, before we start, I just want to read this. It's just an example of some of the tweets that I get.
If you acknowledge, it encourages.
Oh, you saw that too?
No, I didn't see it. I saw the tweet that you're about to read. That's all I saw.
Great. See, 10 years ago today, a young woman died in this very studio. Here we go. This is just an average tweet. At TJBot1122. Chris Hardwick, ... Who are you and what the hell do you do? 3 question marks. So if anyone wants to let at TJBot1122, who lives in Holiday, Florida, listen, she's living the tropical life, into sports, heavy metal, people who make her laugh, the ocean, going to the beach, chilling out and hanging with her friends.
Well,
yeah,
Chris
up
Hardwick,
top.
sounds like she'd really enjoy you.
Yeah, you just got nerdisted, Tamara Bot. We didn't even rehearse that. That was an improv nerdisted.
That happens.
Well done, production staff.
Now she knows what's going on.
Now let's turn our attention to viewer requested telephones.
The Droid Charge feels about the same as the other Android phones we've had on this week. Pretty light, pretty thin.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's funny because I think in our minds we think of this as feeling cheap because it's plasticky and light, but that's an
expensive things used to be heavy.
They used to be heavy. Like if you had a dual cassette recorder with a turntable and you picked it up, you're like, it's light, it's a piece of crap. But it's not. That's just how things are now. They are light, and it is incredibly light.
Well, the phone works a lot like yesterday's Samsung Infuse. Oddly enough, also made by Samsung.
She's still working out over there.
Yes, she is.
It's so bizarre.
There's no camera on her. It's not a joke for her, Chris. She really wants to work out during commercial breaks.
She is in it to win it. She really wants 173. Don't talk. Keep doing it.
I've attached it to my foot.
Oh my gosh.
They're multi-purpose.
So the phone is basically, you can see here, it's great. It's got all of the...
Nothing bad or unexpected.
Nothing unexpected at all, Kevin. It's the same version of Android 2.2, most of the same pre-installed apps, including the new Samsung Media Hub, which is a very iTunes-like selection of movies and TV shows to rent or buy. There are some notable differences here, though. The Infuse is AT&T. This one is on Verizon. The phone has hardware buttons for navigation. And yesterday's phone, the Infuse, had a 1.2 gigahertz processor.
Wait, is this one different?
This one has a 1 gigahertz processor. But I know if you if you can measure those speeds with your brain somehow, but it handles really intense games like
She's still
QWERTY pretty
camel
well.
kicking. It's so distracting.
Yeah,
I just have no idea what's going on.
It really is.
I'm just exercising. I gotta get it in when I can.
I give this a 5 out of 5.
All right, so the cameras on these phones are never as good as we want them to be. We always complain.
Whatever.
Is the charge any difference?
Yeah, this one's pretty good. Pictures were all well exposed. Colors were nicely saturated. We did have some soft focus light issues and low light. The LED flash is bright. It's just not very flattering. That guy looks like he's talking on a banana there.
Yeah. Which, that only has a 1 gigahertz processor as well.
It's not very flattering. It'll make it look like you're talking on a banana.
That's weird.
In pictures.
Is the screen just as vibrant as yesterday's?
Totally vibrant, Kevin. Vibrant. It has a super bright, super AMOLED screen. And then this one has a little bit...
I asked if it was vibrant.
It is vibrant.
Okay.
It's very jazzy. It has a lot of personality.
Whimsy's just pouring through.
It's very charismatic, like Ryan Reynolds. This one is a hair smaller at 4.3 inches, though.
All right. Verizon's 4G coverage is likely still the fastest?
Yes, it is. It is. We use the speed test app and clock some amazingly fast blazing download speeds. This one averaged around 15 megabits per second. We did see speeds as high as 32 megabits a second. I recommend you check if there's good 4G LTE coverage in your area. It's not everywhere before you sign up.
All right, $180 with a contract on Amazon Wireless. What's the verdict?
Kevin, 4 out of 5. Unheard of or heard of. The Droid Charge isn't the fastest Android out there, but it is well designed and the 4G service is astounding. So light, great, powerful. I don't know what else to say. Nice phone.
Thank you, Chris Hardwick.
Thank you, Kevin Pratt. Nice to see you.
That's it for today's Gadget Prawn. Sorry, I missed the follow-up.
I missed it too.
If you have a gadget you'd like to see us rate, or email us at g4tv.com/gadgetprawn.
Yay!
That doesn't sound disturbing at all. Now back to Candace.
Still ahead, Duke Nukem blows up his PR firm, and Microsoft does big Connect news. Find out more in the feed with Kristen Adams.
Hey, I got a good one for you.
Okay.
I was going to show you.
Okay.
Yeah, just bring him out here. Bring him out here. Bring him out here. Yeah.
Then Sarah Underwood continues her week-long salute to the troops. This time aboard a warship named after New
This portion of Attack of the Show is brought to you by Warner Brothers Pictures' Green Lantern. In theaters June 17th.
What happens next?
Rollerblading down a slide? Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. So what happens next? Does he slip and land on his nuts? Does he slip and hit his face on the slide? Or does he fall off the slide and land on his head? We'll have the answer after the break.
Zombie and puppy cuddle fest. What happens next?
Rollerblading down a slide? Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. So what happens next? Does he slip and land on his nuts? Does he slip and hit his face on the slide? Or does he fall off the slide and land on his head? Ooh, does anyone see his missing teeth?
I expected that.
I said, what did he expect? Did you miss out on Fleet Week? Because we didn't.
Nope. Here's Rear Admiral Sarah Underwood. I didn't write it. Checking out the USS New York.
I just flew in on the deck of the USS New York, which was forged from the steel of the World Trade Center. She's made her way back home for Fleet Week, and I have the honor of getting a first-hand look at one of the Navy's most state-of-the-art ships. The USS New York is one impressive warship, housing 1,200 soldiers. This 684-foot vessel hauls Osprey tilt rotor aircraft and an array of military helicopters that are ready to launch at a moment's notice. This is one ship you don't want bearing down on you. Captain, tell me about this bad boy behind us.
Well, this here is a UH-1 November, affectionately known as the War Pig. It is a Huey. It's been upgraded with a couple different engines and different avionics, but other than that, it's basically the same aircraft that flew during Vietnam. The heart of this aircraft is what you see off the nose down there. The sensor's known as a Bright Star Block 2. It's an IR camera. It's also got a color CCD TV. It's one of the most advanced sensors in the world. Overall, you're looking at a $3 million aircraft, and $2 million of it's hanging off the nose.
Well, I'm on the USS New York, and it's only appropriate that I'd be on Broadway.
We're a non-displacement hovercraft. There's 36 of them in the Navy. We're 84-foot long, 44-foot wide, and we can carry a complement of all the Marine vehicles. Anything that the Marines have and need to go ashore, we can take it.
How do you get this thing in and out of the ship?
Now, we have a big cushion on the side of the craft, and the lift fans up there will actually push air into that, which pushes air to the center and creates a lift for us. So we'll actually come up on a cushion of air, and then we'll back out.
I'm sitting on the bridge in the captain's chair. I'm sorry, but I just gotta do it. Mr. Sulu, engage. Warp factor 1. What's this station right here?
First off, we have our 73 radar repeater. The 73 is just a surface search radar. If there's contacts, other ships, other vessels out there that we can't see with the naked eye, we'd like to look at our radar, and hopefully we can see out far enough where they become a problem either in a crossing or a passing situation. We don't want to hit anybody.
Now, this is the helm control console. You could say this is where the magic happens, right?
This is where we drive the ship, steer the ship, and also control the throttle for the engine orders. So we have two big rudders all the way back behind the propellers, so the propulsion shafts on the ship. And from here, the helmsman, he receives engine orders from a junior officer, and he steers the ship. This is the voyage management system, our electronic charts we use for navigation. We're not certified to navigate just on these electronic charts alone. We still do paper charts, but on an electronic chart, it tells you the depth of the water, tell you any obstructions, any shipwrecks, anything that you need to steer around and make sure you don't run aground.
At 10,000 horsepower apiece, these engines are way bigger than what's in my Mini Cooper. Now behind me is perhaps one of the most important pieces of the USS New York. Can you tell me why?
Sure, that's the ship's bow stem, and there are 7.5 tons of World Trade Center steel built into the bow stem. After 9/11, Governor George Pataki, then governor of New York, asked the Navy to build a ship in honor of New York and what happened on 9/11. So they took, I think it was about 20 tons of World Trade Center steel from the site down to a foundry in Emmett, Louisiana, and they melted it down to form the bow stem. And what they were left with was a 7.5-ton piece of World Trade Center steel that was perfect. It's really the strongest part of the ship. It's where the ship cuts the water. And the ship's motto is strength forged through sacrifice, never forget.
I had a great time getting a tour of the USS New York, but I got a boo-boo, so I'm gonna have these hunky guys take me to medical. Ready, guys? Let's go. Oh, you guys are so strong.
She loves her some camo. And now, with the day's headlines,
here's Chris and Adam.
Aw, thanks, guys. Thanks. That's enough. Right now, it's time to start the feed. Serious business.
All the news you need to know. Feed.
I'm Kristen Adams. It's Thursday, June 16th, and here are your top stories. If you have some coding skills and a Kinect, Microsoft's giving you a chance to help create the future of computing for free. Microsoft has released a software development kit for the motion-sensing Xbox 360 controller, which will enable developers to create their own Kinect-powered applications for the PC. This means you may soon use words and hand gestures to control your computer. I'm just saying, keep it clean, guys. Keep it clean. It's good advice. We've all learned that tweeting a photo of your genitals is a very bad idea. But so is tweeting a threat to blacklist game journalists who don't like your product. It's bad. This week, the makers of Duke Nukem Forever fired their PR firm, the Redner Group, after the founder of the PR company tweeted that, quote, too many went too far with their reviews. We are reviewing who gets games next time and who doesn't based on today's venom. In other words, it was a veiled threat that if you didn't like Duke, you weren't going to get early copies of upcoming games. Duke Nukem publisher 2K Games quickly parted ways with the PR firm and stated that they don't condone blacklisting, but they still, you know, condone sexism. So, twisted, I know. And finally, happy birthday to Big Blue! IBM turns 100 years old today. IBM started out making punch cards and time recording equipment, and today they make terrifying talking computers that wipe the floor with human opponents in Jeopardy! The company also holds the title of Most Inventive American Company with the highest number of approved patents for the past 18 years, beating out Apple, Microsoft, and everyone else. Basically, what we're saying is when they invent a time machine, just use it to travel back in time 100 years to buy stock in IBM. That'd be great. I'm Kristen Adams, and you've just been fed back to Kevin and Candace.
thank you. Hey, are you guys afraid of black holes in space?
Yes.
Okay, well, guess what?
What?
There are also white holes now.
No!
Yeah, sorry.
Don't get it? Well, Galactopedia does.
2011 has been an exciting year for astronomers. Solar explosions, killer asteroids, and giant black holes. And as we continue to search the heavens, it looks like we've only scratched the surface. Just last week, NASA announced that our solar system is surrounded by huge magnetic bubbles over 100 million miles wide. Discovered by the Voyager probes, these bubbles are caused by the sun's magnetic field being twisted and folded at the edge of the solar system, forming magnetic foam. Scientists call this region the heliosheath, and it's essentially the border between our system and the rest of the cosmos. NASA scientists believe that these magnetic bubbles are the first line of defense against cosmic rays, which act like microscopic cannonballs and have to fight to enter our system. This discovery has many scientists trying to interpret its implications, and they expect many more surprises in the near future. But as we move away from the vast reaches of space, we head home, where NASA is putting the last touches on their final space shuttle mission. Dubbed STS-135, this mission marks the end of NASA's space shuttle program with the flight of the spaceship Atlantis. Set to launch July 8th from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, Atlantis will send its 4-man crew on a 12-day mission to deliver supplies to the International Space Station. With the mothballing of Atlantis, NASA will rely on the Russian Soyuz spacecraft to ferry astronauts to the ISS and eventually plans to turn to the private and commercial industry to send their astronauts into space. After it returns, Atlantis will be decommissioned at Kennedy and put on display at its Visitors Center. Finally, we all know that black holes are stellar vacuums, sucking in matter and energy, but many have wondered where all this material goes. Many astronomers have long theorized that it might be spewed out through its cosmic twin, a white hole. And 2 weeks ago, a pair of Israeli scientists found evidence that these white holes may exist after analyzing a giant burst of gamma rays from 2005. Typically, these bursts result from supernovas, and they last less than 2 seconds. However, the burst they studied lasted over a minute and a half. Many astronomers believe these white holes have the ability to pop up anywhere, at any time, making them difficult to track. However, with this find, scientists hope to have a better understanding of how the universe is structured and how black holes work. So even as we wave adieu to our shuttle program, we can see that there are plenty of discoveries to be found as we search the skies.
Professor Stephen Hawking has said we must leave planet Earth to ensure humanity's survival.
Fine, let him go up to space then. It's dangerous, it's cold, there's no dispensaries. Oh, open up a weed franchise on the moon. You know what I mean? A little Martian grain. Know what I'm saying?
I don't do that.
What?
Stay tuned. Shaun of the Dead star
Take
Simon
trips to the
Pegg
moon?
will be here to talk about zombies,
Because I
aliens,
know you're down with the
and his
chronic,
new
Candace
book.
Bailey.
I am
I've seen you double bogging.
I'm so sorry.
You're the Michael Phelps with curly hair.
The feed is brought to you by the General Automobile Insurance Services. For the best car insurance rates online, go to the General and save some time.
Fail. You're dead. Major fail. Fail. Fail, 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 fail. You lose.
You know, some nerds stop being nerds when they grow up, and then some nerds grow up to make Star Trek and zombie movies. And those are the ones who actually have it all figured out. There's one right here, ladies and gentlemen, the author of Nerd Do Well, A Small Boy's Journey to Becoming a Big Kid. Dr. Simon Pegg is here. Very proper salute.
Thank you, yeah. I like that. I was in Band of Brothers.
First of all, best shirt we've had on this set in a long time.
Do you think?
So thank you for that. Yeah.
I came from Austin this morning, and I wore like aeroplane clothes. I was in like sweatpants, and I had to just get some stuff out the back of the car and put it on, and this is what I chose. So.
Are the well, it's a fantastic choice. Are the sweatpants because it's comfortable to fly on, or because when you get groped by the TSA, you get extra close to your testicles?
Can I say both?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's both.
It's like the same way you dress for a strip club is the way you dress for a Southwest flight.
It's all
that.
about convenience.
First of all, you're on a press tour and a half, which must. I mean, is it odd for? I mean, obviously you've had great success, but for a nerd, is it weird that this is your life now?
It's weird in so much as, like, the book is kind of about this whole thing of one time you're looking at it and loving it and wanting to be part of it, and then the next thing you are part of it, and that's, you know, it's kind of wonderful and nice, and I thought it would be nice to share that those sort of circularities of being a Star Trek fan when I was 9 and hanging out with Leonard Nimoy in space when I was 39.
Can you have because you have a deep passion for Star Wars and Star Trek. Can you have franchises like that today?
What, like new ones? Starting?
Yeah, like new one. Could you do that today?
That's a
or in
very
the age of YouTube
question.
And digital downloads and everybody's got a red cam.
You know what? I don't know. Maybe it's those things happened at a very specific time. Particularly Star Wars happened. Star Wars was as big as it was, not just because it's a great movie, but a lot of things were going on in society. People were feeling a certain way. It came along and it was like this big, wonderful, positive reinforcement of America, and America needed that. I don't know if that could happen again.
It was a big warm hug with lasers.
It was a hug with lasers.
Yeah. It's hard to have that now.
It was a Wookiee hug.
I thought The Matrix might be that for our generation. I thought maybe that first one was so good.
And then they really ballsed it up.
Yeah, they really did.
The second one, rubbish.
Yeah. Oh, but the third one was, that was also crap as well.
That was kind of unwatchable.
Yeah, they both were, but oh well, that wasn't it. Your book, who did you have write it for you? Because that's always the biggest choice. When you're going to write a book about yourself, it's always, is it a long audition process with different writers and see if they get your voice?
His name's Juan. He does the garden. I used to tempt him in with meat and make him tight while I sat by the pool. No, it was very important to me that I wrote it myself. I always think it's kind of strange. If you're going to do something as self-indulgent as a memoir, then do it yourself. Don't get someone to do it for you. I mean, that's just the height of idiocy, is to sort of go, you write it. I mean, there's no truth in it otherwise, you know.
Yeah.
And I was a little nervous about talking about my private life because I'm quite a private person, but I realized that if I did it, it was all right because I wasn't spinning it. I was telling it how it was. I could control what I said. I didn't talk about all the murders.
Oh, no! No! Will there be a part 2? Is
this live?
We'll get you indicted? Actually, yes. Yeah, we are live. So, you did. I was surprised that you admit that you're a suave spy with a mechanical butler. That was.
Yeah.
Well, that was pretty interesting.
A lot of us in the UK have robotic butlers. It's just the way it is. There's a lot of sort of steampunk help in the UK. I did one of the ways that I kind of made it easier for myself to write a memoir was in the book there is a fiction story which runs every few chapters. There's another chapter of this fiction story which has me as this sexually devastating superhero spy with a robotic butler called Canterbury, having adventures across the globe.
Was this Juan's idea, or
this was Juan's best idea? It was because it's so bombastic and like he's such a big head, this character. But it was kind of me saying, I know I'm writing a memoir. I know it's a bit naff, as we say in the UK, but go with it. And I prefer the fiction to the reality, to be honest.
It was a nice palate cleanser throughout the process,
it's
which
like
I enjoy. A little
after
sorbet.
sushi. Yes.
Now, the thing that fascinated me is that if you had access to a time machine, which is hypothetical, you'd ask anybody, hey, if you had a time machine, what would you go do?
Which I do one day.
So, and you will.
I know I
do. You've come back and told yourself that you got it. That's nice. You wouldn't go back and you wouldn't kill Hitler. You wouldn't drastically alter the course of history. You would go back and show off to a younger you, like, hey, check out this iPhone. Yeah. It's got so many albums in it. Like, that's what you would use your time machine for?
I have that fantasy all the time. It's like, you never appreciate change completely because it happens very gradually.
Right.
So, like, if you took an iPod back to, 1970s, to when you were lowering onto some little red briefcase record player and went, look at this has got all your music on, you'd freak out because it'd be amazing.
You'd put a needle on the screen.
Yeah, you go,
this doesn't work. It sounds like crap.
Yeah.
Your future music sounds like scratching.
Exactly. But if I had this idea of, wouldn't it be great when I was on the set of Star Trek and I was doing those scenes with Leonard Nimoy, I was thinking my 9-year-old self would just flip out if he knew this was going on. He'd be like...
Your 9-year-old self would not believe you.
No, he would think I was a lying old man.
And probably wouldn't follow you when he said, hey, kid, come here, I got some photos to show you. No.
Some creepy old creep, yeah. No, and so the whole book is kind of about this idea of being able to go back and say, listen, one day Steven Spielberg's going to punch you in the face. And he didn't. He did rough me up like this.
Give it time.
Yeah.
Give it time. You heading to Comic-Con?
No, I can't. And I'll tell you for why. It's because it happens on my anniversary every year.
You broke one man's heart.
Sorry.
One man's very large heart was broken.
You wouldn't be the first nerd I've crushed. It falls on the same day as my wedding anniversary, and this year I'm putting my wife first.
All right, we're gonna allow that as an excuse this one year.
Just one. Only one.
Simon, it's always a pleasure to chat with you. Thanks for coming on. Good luck with the rest of your Pressapalooza.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, guys, Nerd Do Well is available now, so grab it after we talk to Candace.
Good for him putting the wife first. It's time to attack this custom gear. We never would have thought you could combine the Victorian age with a modern computer, but it turns out we were wrong. Behold the steampunk laptop. Disguised as a fancy music box, these laptops have been modded out with antique copper, leather, and brass fittings. Though they are only available for pre-order right now, the manufacturer says they'll be able to run most of today's resource-intensive programs. Computing in style will set you back a few bucks, though. Reserve yours at datamancer.net for $5,500. Once you've got your steampunk laptop, you're going to need a place to store it, right? And what better way than these video game messenger bags? From Strangeland Outfitter, whether you're outrunning mutants and zombies or just planning your next big trip to New Vegas, these bags are perfect for that acid rainy day. So avoid the fallout and swing by Strangeland Outfitter's Etsy page and snag a bag for $45 to $85. And finally, we've all dreamed about our own ghost car. Well, guess what? Pontiac made our dreams a reality 70 years ago. Reintroducing the 1939 plexiglass ghost car. Designed as a way to show off the versatility of plexiglass, it reportedly cost $25 grand to make, which in today's money is just under $400,000. Yes, we know it's a lot of money, but it's a freaking invisible car! To get more info, woo! Or to put in a bid over to rmauctions.com. Still ahead, humanity is doomed, and epic fail is the proof. Stick around.
Attack This is brought to you by KFC. Today is a KFC day, and today tastes so good.
And now, a hot chick catches a baseball.
Coming up tomorrow on an all-new Attack of the Show. Steve-O almost breaks our set with a ladder and introduces us to the voices in his head. Plus, we've got never-before-seen footage of Jason Mewes at E3. See what happened when we turned him loose on the convention floor. And it's an all-new weekend edition of DV Tuesday with Chris Gore. He'll rate meth drama Breaking Bad and Vampire Sex Fest True Blood Season 3. See it tomorrow.
Landing a front flip is hard.
Yeah, not landing one is actually pretty easy and fairly hilarious.
Hey, Kevin.
Yes, Candace?
Is it true that our faithful viewers can see you in person on Friday?
What? You're absolutely right. I'm sorry. She's right.
What do you mean?
If you live in LA or near LA or you really want to buy a flight, Zach Perlman and I are hosting a new podcast called The Stroke of Genius. And you can come watch us record the first episode Friday night at midnight. That's a weird blur. April O'Neil is going to be there, and her boobs will be there too. So, hey!
What's it about again?
What's that, sorry?
What's it about again?
Oh, it's a porn. Comedy and porn, but mostly porn.
Right.
Yep, for tickets, go to losangeles.ucbtheater.com. It's only $5. I don't see a dime of it, so if you sneak in, I don't care. But it should be a lot of fun. It's 18 plus. It's midnight. Come on out. You'll be there. Faking it.
I'm not doing anything.
Candace might be involved in one of our games tomorrow night.
Not happening. Not happening. I told him.
Thanks to our guest, Simon Pegg.